Mr. Jenkins was livid the moment laid eyes on the extravagant holiday displays lining Evergreen Heights. His blood pressure spiked. Wreathed strings of twinkling lights, inflatable Santas, and even a life-size sleigh with glow-wing reindeer cluttered lawns and rooftops. To him it was chaos masquerading as festivity. As the head of the Homeowners Association HOA, Mr. Jenkins prided himself on maintaining the neighborhood's pristine appearance. He had a reputation for being strict, but fair. To him these gaudy displays were an affront to the uniformity he'd worked so hard to enforce. "This ends now," he muttered, typing up letters to every household. The letters weren't subtle. They threatened fines and, if necessary, legal action against anyone refusing to comply. By the next day, residents' mailboxes were stuffed with the HOA's missive. The neighborhood buzzed with outrage. Many residents saw their decorations as harmless fun, a way to bring joy to the community during the holiday. Activism quickly emerged as the voice of the opposition. Emma had moved to Evergreen Heights 5 years earlier. She'd grown up in a small town where Christmas was celebrated with infectious enthusiasm. To her, the holiday season wasn't complete without lights, laughter, and a sense of unity. Determined to stand her ground, she began collecting signatures for a petition to counter the HOA ruling. The emergency meeting. Days later, Mr. Jenkins called an emergency HOA meeting. It was held in the community center, a modest building near the park. The room was packed with residents, many wearing Santa hats, reindeer antlers, or festive sweaters. A silent but colorful protest against the HOA's decision. Mr. Jenkins opened the meeting with his trademark scowl. "This excessive display is unacceptable," he barked. "It's an eyesore, a distraction, and a violation of our community guidelines." Emma stood holding her petition. She'd gathered over 100 signatures, more than half the neighborhood. Her voice was steady but impassioned. "Mr. Jenkins, it's Christmas. These decorations bring people together. Isn't that what a community should be about?" Murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd. Emma continued, her words resonating with the group. "These lights are more than decorations. They're symbols of hope, kindness, and unity. This is the one time of year we can all come together, regardless of our differences. Can't we make an exception?" Mr. Jenkins looked unconvinced. "Rules exist for a reason, Mrs. Parker. If we start bending them, where do we draw the line?" Before Emma could respond, an elderly man named Mr. Carter spoke up. "Jenkins, for once stop hiding behind your rules and look at what this means to people. It's not about breaking rules, it's about bringing joy. Don't you remember what that feels like? Uncovering Gerald's past." Emma couldn't shake Mr. Carter's words. She decided to dig deeper into Mr. Jenkins' background. A trip to the local library revealed an old newspaper article featuring Gerald Jenkins and his late wife, Margaret. The photo showed a younger, happier Gerald beside a massive Christmas tree. The article described the couple's elaborate holiday displays, which had won local competitions and brought joy to their community. Emma brought this discovery to the next HOA meeting. The atmosphere was tense but hopeful. Holding up the article, she addressed Gerald directly. "Mr. Jenkins, you weren't always against Christmas spirit. What happened?" The room fell silent. Gerald's stern expression softened, and his eyes glistened. "Margaret loved Christmas," he said, his voice wavering. "After she passed, it just hurt too much to celebrate. I thought strict rules would help me move on, but maybe I've lost sight of what matters." Emma stepped forward, her voice gentle. "Then let us honor her memory by bringing back that joy. Let Evergreen Heights be a place where no one feels alone during the holidays. A Christmas miracle." Gerald sighed deeply, then nodded. "All right, we'll grant a temporary waiver for the holiday season, but only if everyone agrees to keep things respectful and safe." The room erupted in cheers. Residents immediately began planning a grand celebration. Even Gerald joined in, surprising everyone by contributing a beautiful angel ornament that Margaret had cherished Over the next weeks, Evergreen Heights transformed into a winter wonderland. Houses glowed with lights, and the streets were lined with festive decorations. Neighbors worked together, sharing ladders, tools, and holiday treats. The community buzzed with energy and camaraderie. Emma spearheaded a charity drive to accompany the festivities, collecting donations for local families in need. The response was overwhelming. Evergreen Heights became a beacon of generosity and goodwill. The grand finale. On Christmas Eve, the neighborhood hosted a celebration unlike any other. Families gathered in the park, sipping hot cocoa and singing carols. Gerald gave a heartfelt speech, his voice strong but emotional. "Thank you for reminding me of the true meaning of Christmas. It's not about rules or decorations. It's about togetherness." As he finished, the crowd erupted in applause. The evening culminated in a dazzling display of fireworks, their reflections dancing off the snow-covered rooftops. Emma looked around at her glowing street, her heart full. This was the magic of Christmas: unity, joy, and the triumph of community over conflict. Evergreen Heights wasn't just the most festive neighborhood in town, it was a symbol of hope and love. By Christmas morning, the story of Evergreen Heights had spread far and wide. Visitors came from neighboring towns to see the lights, and the charity drive raised thousands of dollars. Gerald, once a symbol of rigidity, had become a champion of the community, a holiday legend. Years later, the story of Evergreen Heights became a local legend. Each Christmas, residents retold the tale of how the neighborhood came together to bring back the spirit of the season. For Emma, Gerald, and the rest of Evergreen Heights, it was a reminder that sometimes breaking the rules can bring people together in the most extraordinary ways.